these conversations just so interesting. It's like, life is to be enjoyed. No, but it truly is, and I'm in between
shackles, boy.
having to make money, save money, but also
enjoy life.
Life is short, and tomorrow isn't promised, and it's so easy to just get caught up in this rat race of trying to make money. I remember this teacher in college, and she was just talking about her life, and she was just like, well, next year she's gonna quit a job and just go live in some country and just chill. And I was like, what? No. Like, you can't leave London and whatever. And to this day, only God knows where she is. But because we tell ourselves that, she is. But because we've been telling ourselves to chase this financial dream, that our house has to be big, our car has to be good, our children have to be good, and all of that. We just get caught up in this rat race of trying to make so much money that when is it ever enough? But we could truly I tell people all the time, we don't have to live in London. We don't have to live here. We could live anywhere else. My friends are here. And have a... But you can there's FaceTime, there's technology. We can go anywhere and just have a cheaper cost of living.
She makes good jello fries.
Okay. Let's get away from them.
They have plantain. They have plantain in the woods.
But yeah, that's why I just find these conversations just so interesting. But you want to make money. It's still in you. It's in your veins. And it's like, do you remember Wolf of Wall Street when the guy goes up to, what's the guy's name? To Leonardo DiCaprio. His character, Jordan Belfort, and he's like, show me what you do. How did you get that car? Show me a paycheck and I'll quit my job. And that's how I make my money. If you tell me that you flip something on this crypto, I will join it. I'll put money there. I'll put £100 there or whatever. If it works, it works. It's money that I'm willing to lose or whatever. But that's it. If someone else is doing it, just copy, and eventually, you will make your money. And I remember I put £30 in, what's it, Shiba, or whatever you call it. Put £30 and it turned into £200. I said, hey, just from copying somebody. If only I put 30k, but you always have that. But I'm not. It's also understanding that there's patience versus greed. What is enough? And for me, it's like I'm not greedy, but I'm also trying not to be impatient. So you want to be patient enough, but you also don't want to be so greedy that you lose that money that you've made from an investment that why are you losing it? Because you're trying to take, like, you speak to people and it's like, oh yeah, I've got, £20,000 in my crypto wallet. Well, take it out. Nah, man. And then you ask them why. It's like, oh, fuck, like,
let me 5 bills for rent though.
No, facts. And I'm broke.
That's my crypto.
But what's that in Social Network when he's like, what's bigger or better than $1 million? A billion. And that's the problem. A lot of, it's like you got your 20k to do whatever you want. You invested 2k.
Yeah.
But what's better than 20k, 50k, 100k, and you keep going. You speak to people and they tell you that they've had 100k in their wallet, and okay, what's in your wallet now? Why are you sweating? But that's just how. That's. It's also about having patience, but it's also not about being too greedy. And
you say money's an emotional thing, then?
Yeah, of
Because
course.
it feels like it's tied to your emotions. Like, it can make you angry, it can make you sad, it can make you greedy. And all these kinds of things. Like, it's how you feel about it. Like, how do you feel about this money? Some people, money is like a burden to them. Again, like in the beginning, you were saying that rich people, sometimes they want to just hang around regular people and act like, oh, I know about KFC chicken and chips. Yeah, I'm not rich, even though they got like big mansion. Like, oh, just wear these normal clothes. And then there's some poorer people that are buying Versace and all this kind of stuff, and they don't really have the money like that.
Annoys me so
you know what
much.
I mean? And it's like that's like an emotion, isn't it? I want to the way I feel about it, and the way I feel I should use it, and the way I want to make other people feel about maybe who I am and how much money I have.
Everyone has an emotional attachment. I don't care what YouTube video you watch where he says, don't put your emotions in it. It's like, say, I could see the stress in your eyes of today that wasn't there yesterday because the crypto has gone down or Tesla has dropped. It's like, sir, you're allowed to be emotional. And I think once you try to act like you're not and you're a robot, that's when it becomes unrealistic. It's like, if my thing goes down and I check it, of course I'm going to sweat. But if it goes up, I'm going to be happy. And sometimes that emotional attachment is again, it goes back to what I was trying to say, that we've been taught to love money, whether we like it or not. And it's like, we don't actually have to live in this capitalist structure. We can just go wherever we want. We don't have to try to impress everybody and leave London or these cities that are just robbing us.
Yeah, I think there's a thing around, because kind of connected to what you just said. There's a thing around money being associated with responsibility or being responsible. So it's like, if the more I have, the more evidence that I'm a responsible like person, adult man.
You got people telling people you should donate to this
Yeah,
charity. You
like,
should use your money for this.
listen to me
you should do
because
that.
I have this money to prove why you should listen to me. Almost, and I think there's a thing I can't remember where I heard this, but there's a thing around responsibility prisons, especially for men, where because we attach ourselves to these ideas of this is what responsibility is. So we grind, and we get to this point where like, okay, cool, we've embodied these things. But now we have to keep engaging in these activities to maintain these things. And now we're trapped. And now you spend the rest of your life, especially a lot of men do this, you spend the rest of your life either maintaining those responsibility structures whilst designing escapes. And that's it. Like you're there grinding, making this money. And then the only other thing you do is plan holidays so you can get away from grinding and making the money so that you can then feel refreshed to come back and grind and make the money. And once you've done that, you're trapped. And that brings me back the connection bit of like, yeah, there's a sliding scale between the patience, the greed, living your life, and being able to fund the life you would like to live. Yes, but then
not at the expense
not at the expense of your actual life. I mean, there's a thing that a lot of men fall into, and the sad part is by the time people realize that I'm trapped, it's like the weight of the trap is so heavy you can't just pull the plug right now. Anyway, so now it's like I'm trapped and I'm conscious that I'm engaging in my trap, and how am I going to get out of this without designing another trap? I think financially
designing another trap,
because from the mindset thing as well, like if your mindset is tilted towards looking at money in this way, you're going to think, I'm building an escape. Subconsciously, you're building a smaller version of what you're leaving. Like, how do you like navigate that thing? So I think that's one thing that I've always. Not always even. I heard this probably a couple of months ago that I've started to think about in terms of like, yes, I want X, Y, and Z, but what is the most realistic, healthy approach to get these things? And yeah, like what is the most realistic, healthy approach? I can get it all right now by taking some very, very aggressive risks. What is that going to cost me? And again, for me, that goes back to status anxiety. Like, if you can't settle your status anxiety, you will make certain decisions that will lead you into these traps. But if you can, then you give yourself the space to do what you need to do to build that wealth, but also maintain that space to step back, like T's just said, of like, yeah, I like making money, but actually I want to enjoy my life as well. But you don't feel any type of way about behaving any type of way in front of any type of person because that anxiety isn't there to govern or to keep you in those traps.